I've been an actor for over 35 years. I recently got an opportunity to direct a theatrical production of A Christmas Carol, so I thought it would be fun to document the process of directing a show. So let's get started after the bump. I'm Doug Fahl, your Augmented actor, helping you augment your acting career with tips, tactics, and tech. Let's talk about headshots and resumes. Now with headshots and resumes, a lot of the actors just had sort of a photocopied photo. Some had professional headshots. Others had headshots from like 5-10 years ago. It's advisable if you're going to be doing union work and union auditions to have a nice professional headshot. But if you're in the smaller theaters or you're just starting out, any photo will do. One thing I noticed though is a lot of the photos were not very current. For instance, the managing director would bring in a stack of headshots of who was auditioning next. And I would look through them and I would kind of say, oh, that person's going to be too young for this role. They're way too young. And then they would walk in the room and I would see, oh, they've aged about 10 years and they just haven't updated their headshot. I had to make a mental note that this person's actually older than their headshot, which is fine when there's 15 or 20 people auditioning, but when there's like 200 people in a show, you want a headshot that reflects what you currently look like as best as possible, especially your current age, your current hair color, your current look. As a first-time director, I really didn't care about whether their headshots were professional or not, or whether they were just printed out. It didn't matter to me because I was taking notes and I was looking at the actor's performance. And you know, later on where it becomes important is after the fact when you're sitting around the casting table trying to remember, who was that girl? Oh, she did a great monologue. What does she look like again? How old is she? That's where we want to look at the headshots. And so that's where it's important that your headshot represents you, because I might forget who you are. I might forget, especially if you had a haircut or something like that. I will forget what you did. I might write good, did a good performance, but I won't remember which girl is which. You know, there were a lot of teenage girls and they all had kind of a similar look on first glance. And so even if I wrote, they did a great job, or they were wearing pink, or whatever I wrote in my notes, it was really difficult to separate which girl was which, and having the headshot laid out in front of me was very helpful in putting a name with a face. So that's the importance of having a good, consistent headshot. Resumes, less important. I wanted to make the actors feel comfortable, so I would look at their resume and try to see if there was a show that I saw on their resume, or if they'd worked somewhere, or I might just ask them about a role. And that is just sort of to open up a conversation and to get past the nerves of an audition. Other than that, I really didn't care what the actor had done. If they gave an impressive audition, I would make a note of that. Some people who had not previously worked at all as an actor or only had a few credits on their resume gave really great performances. So I was aware of that. They didn't need a beefed up resume to get a callback. And then other actors, I could tell they gave a really good performance, and then I saw that, hey, they've done some national tours, they've done some regional work, and so I knew that I was working with a actor who was experienced and would take direction well, and all those kind of things. So that's where a resume comes important. Other than that, it didn't really matter to me what the previous credits were. So that shows you how insignificant a resume and a headshot actually might be, especially if you know the director, you've worked at the theater before, there's people there that have worked with you and that can vouch for you and your performance. So I guess my takeaway with headshots and resumes is don't let that hold you back. Have a photo, put what you have on a resume, make it look as professional as possible. But other than that, for a community theater or a small semi-professional theater, don't stress it too much. Just bring what you got and go in with confidence.